All right. I think we are live. I'm just gonna wait for confirmation on my second computer. And we are indeed live. So, welcome to LiveStream. What is this, number 11? I can't keep track anymore. Welcome to LiveStream number 11 of porting the J language from C to C++ 20. Should move my chair a little bit up. And hope you're having a good day, great week. It's Friday, 6 p.m. local time, Eastern Standard in Toronto, Canada. And I hope you all had a great week. And tonight is going to be another short stream. Here, let me just switch this setting. Yeah, it's going to be another short stream. We are going to attempt to close as many PRs as possible, as there's a number of them that have been open over the past week that I have not gotten a chance to get around to. So actually, let's open an issue here. JSource, new issue, live stream number 11 to do. And the first thing we're going to do is close /review /merge several PRs. Then we're going to look at softmax in J. And then we are going to look at trying to set up AAL var transform in our take drop file. So write this and then use this in take and drop.hpp. What is this? This is I don't know what this is. We'll leave this unassigned. So yeah, if you've got questions at any point, just feel free to ask them in the chat. Or if you're watching this post the live stream, feel free to leave them down in the comment section, and I can review later and try to answer them when we get to them. So let's start with closing some PRs. So thank you to all that open PRs. Let's just look at these in reverse chronological order. So, oh, well, holy smokes. What's issue number 13? Dope. So getting rid of 1,000 lines of code. What are we currently at right now? If we go into this, we're still sitting above 80,000, and this is what net negative 300. So this won't take us below, but this looks awesome. So let's quickly review this. So it looks like we're just doing some macro replacements. So it looks like all macro replacements, restrict. Is that actually what the entire PR is? Yeah, so getting rid of these restrict macros. How many macros are we down to at this point? We started with above 10,000. And if we do a Control-Shift-F on hash define, we're at 2,400 now, so that's pretty good. All right, so back to this. So yeah, it just looks like we're removing some macros. Ship it. This gets the fire emoji because we're deleting code. And we merge this. So one down. And actually, so let's make sure that we went and closed that PR as well. Yeah, this is closed as well. So we can check this off. And we can check this off. Awesome. Thank you, Juho, for checking off the last box. So close this, back to our PRs. Let's check this out now. So this is just fixing a few. So we have a few failing tests right now. And this looks like it's just making a couple changes. So yeah, what did the description say? Seems to have had the same failure from start of the port. Loading a fold now at the boot.ijs, which is one of the JScripts that gets called. So yeah, this is fold. And then moving a couple of these test backs. And then I think commenting out the failure points. So this is basically just enabling tests and fixing a couple and then commenting out a couple that were causing the failures. Looks good to me. So thank you once again, Juho. Close this. Back to our PR, so 2 down. So I think these are... So it looks like, yeah, doc updates and then some... So yeah, this is awesome. Yeah, these I don't actively update, so if you ever run into issues, yeah, these are like dependencies that aren't listed, so this is awesome that these got added. So yeah, thank you. And yeah, I guess now we need recursive because we have a submodule. We split out our an algorithm library so that we could put it under the Boost license. We did that last time. So now it requires you to do a recursive, which is gonna get you the algorithm library as well. So this is awesome. Yeah, and this just looks like a slight fix in the CMake. And then updating, or actually deleting this because it's unnecessary. Ship it. All right, going back to pull requests, we should be down to 3. This one was opened by Robert over a week ago. Oh, right, so this was a Clang format file. So let's see what happens. Let's actually, do I have Robert? Git remote v. I do. So let's do a git fetch on Robert. And then let's do git checkout Clang format update. It's not what I meant to do. Oh, what happened there? Never mind, false alarm. There we go. So that should be fine. What we want to do though is check, now that we're on this branch, what happens. So say if we go to our take and drop.cpp, yeah. So let's copy and paste this and go back to this, and I will just comment that I need to look into this further. I need to look into this further. I think I am using Clang format 8 locally due to the fact that that is what this change causes. So after I investigate, I will version, or maybe you can post which and we will pin. So comment. So yeah, I'm not going to close this one. What is this? This is sort of I don't know if that's technically CI/build, but it's Clang format, and at some point we're going to add that to the CI so that your PR has to conform to it in order to pass. And I think that means, yeah, this one's got a work in progress still, which means we're not going to review it. This one's failing right now. And that means we'll switch over to our algorithm code base. So this is basically saying we could use catch 2. Oh yeah, this is a Chris Uziak's library. So yeah, I am happy to use either Chris's UT or catch 2 if you open a PR. We'll be happy to merge. And then in terms of pull requests, I think this was also from Robert. So we don't have any CI currently on this. Sorry, Robert. Me. I guess we don't really have any labels yet. So let's just double check that this works locally. So git checkout main. And actually, let's do a poll. Modified content. So let's, I don't know what I have. Actually, so I'm one folder up. Yeah, I think I was just messing around before. Yeah, we can. Oh yeah, actually, and I just thought of something else we need to do here. We need to add underscore if. To our find algorithm. All right. How do you do a remote add again? So we need to copy and paste. And I feel like I really want to change, not the name, like, but the fact that we've got hyphens in this and capital letters irritates me. All right, git fetch. So saying if I, well actually I'm already in code here. So if we go to cmake, oh yeah, and I opened this one file too high, so let's, so it's in J's root actually. And then is this in the source file? Target link libraries. Let's do this. I assume we can get rid of this. And Well, let's just try and build right now. I'm expecting this to fail. Can we go and change that? Hopefully that just works. Okay. All right, that's expected. Go to take drop, up to the top, and I believe the change was like that. Woohoo, look at that. Console. Awesome. And let's actually just check all our unit tests are still passing. Nice. I'm not. Do I have access to push to? So if we go back down into here, git add git commit bump required CMake down to 3.18. So let's see, git push. Is this gonna work? I have to go and get this, which is going to be over here. Seems to have worked. Let's go double check to see if there's a new commit from me. Nice. All right. Awesome. So all pull requests are closed here. And actually, I've decided to add one more thing. Set up, what do you call it, the auto assign that we did for okay, so now that we've done that, nice. Come back here. Get status. And then how are we going to do this? So get checko dev. Checkout. Update. Yeah, that's the JSource CMakes file that we want to delete that commented outline. Oh, and it looks like Clang format decided to make some changes as well. Which is fine. Oh, except git reset, git status, git add. Updates, CMake. So if we now come to and pull requests to closed, changes necessary. Follow-up changes from this. Build in CI. And we will wait Why did this already just fail? Is that SHA? Is this necessary? Looks like it is. All right, what were the other things that we needed to do? So we're almost done this. Oh yeah, setting up auto assign. So we can just do that locally. And that's just going to involve copying and pasting a few things. So our GitHub file, we want to, so this is .github auto assign. Actually, yeah, let's copy that first. .github auto assign. We want to commit this new file. And then we want workflows action.yaml. What was it? Workflow? Workflows / action.yaml. And actually, we can leave that part, I guess, but we can delete this part. preview, commit new file. And I think that's set up. And if we just go to settings, it's not webhooks, is it? Branches, yeah, and then add rule. Pattern, we learned it's just an asterisk for all of them. Require one. Require. I think that's good to go. Nice. This is done merging. This is done compiling, I should say. Confirm merge. Closed. And now we can go back here. We can go back here. All right. We're laughing. Now we can actually go do non-PR stuff. So close this, and we're good to go. All right, so let's come back here. So actually, first let's. I never am signed into Twitter. Am I signed into Twitter now here? I am signed into Twitter here. How do I turn dark mode on? Display. There we go. Home, profile. So I tweeted out, this is inspired by the Elixir NX talks that was given. The Elixir NX YouTube. So Lambda Days. This is a very good talk. If you're interested in Elixir or numerical computing, you should check this out. But basically, Jose Valim, the creator of Elixir, walked through doing character, like OCR, character recognition, and MNIST, which is like a popular thing to sort of get started in machine learning. And at one point, he does a softmax, which is just a function that basically takes the exponent e to the power. So is that the natural exponent? I don't even know what that's called. Natural exponentiation function. Yeah, the natural exponentiation. Euler's number. And I did this in APL, which I think is very beautiful. So basically, if we go to tryapl.org, and we have the numbers 1 to 5. So this star is typically, it's the, is it a new language? What do you mean by that? Is J a new language or is APL a new language? Neither of these are new languages. They're both languages. APL was created in the 60s and J was created in the 90s. So this is typically the exponentiation function. So if I do 2 to the power of 10, I'll get 1024. But if you leave off, if you use it in the monadic case, it's just the natural exponentiation. So it's e to the power of 10, which is going to be some massive number, 22,000. And if I use this on an array of numbers, it's just going to do e to the power of each of those numbers from 1 to 5. So iota 5 is 1 to 5. And then according to the formula, it is basically you just divide each of those numbers by the sum of the numbers that you exponentiated. So basically you want to take each one of these numbers and divide it by the sum of all those numbers. So the sum is 233, so you basically want to take up each of these and then divide them. So we've already just divided, we've just added them all up. So basically what we want to do is we want to, so one way we can do this is to go divide, and then just put the expression that we just had in. And so this is the correct result, but this is a bit irritating because you can see we're basically duplicating this twice. And you'll note that this sort of falls into a pattern. We have a binary operator and 2 unary operations. And so this is a fork, which we've talked about before, which is basically you provide 2 unary operations, in this case, and a binary operation, and an input. So that's basically means you're going to factor out the input here and here, and then put this whole thing in parentheses. And so you have your binary operation in the middle. This is a sum, so that only takes a list of numbers, is a unary operation. And then over here, you're doing nothing. So that's just the identity, which is known as same in APL. And so when you do this, you end up with the same result, which is just beautiful. And so I thought that we could do this in J because, so let's git checkout main. Why is it telling me I have changes now? And if we go there, now we're back to normal. And if we open this, so I thought, what does this look like in J? So if we go iota 5, here's our numbers. This is from 0 to 4 now, not 1 to 5. And we can do natural exponentiation with this little hat. So the same way that 10, or was it 2 to the power of 10, is 1024. In the monadic case, this is just natural exponentiation. So hat I dot 5 gives us what we had, except that it's doing from 1 to 5 instead of 0 to 4 instead of 1 to 5. And then we can set up our fork the exact same way that we did before. So our binary operation, so it's A, B, C, where A and C are monadic operations or unary operations, and then B is a dyadic or binary operation. So this is our identity, this is our division, and this is our sum. So if we do this, we end up with the same numbers that we saw before. Or I guess, are these exactly the same? Interesting. Even though we're going from 0 to 4 instead of 1 to 5, we still get the exact same result. So pretty neat that we can define. So I wonder too, does this work? I think if we define soft max, is it like that or is it the other way? I think it's the other way. Or it's actually like this. Yeah, this is local. And then we go soft max. Whoa. Didn't like that. What are we doing wrong here? Well, And it doesn't look like Ken or Bob or any of our resident J experts. So somehow this is composing not as just two monadic verbs. So at was composition, I thought. I thought there was a new way now, though, that you could actually do, like... Right, so we want to go back to our definition. Whoops. It's definitely not what we want. Was it like verb define or something like that? Actually, let's actually just check our lessons learned, because this came up before. It does not look like I documented it, which is unfortunate. Where's the fifth one? Actually, let's just search it. The search is notoriously bad. Let's search on GitHub. Actually, let's search for extension. Yeah, here it is. Except you need multiple... So what if we do that? So we try now. Yeah, there we go. Well, so I don't know why I'm doing the tacit programming version of this wrong, but at least we got a correct version working. So let's go to lessons learned and we can actually add this. And oh. Azal saying, seems like you can also drop the identity side. Oh, that's right, because J actually has hooks. So like APL doesn't have a hook. So in order to do a hook, which is basically a fork minus one of the sides, you need to put the identity there. So you can actually do, that's a great point. Thanks for pointing that out. And so I wonder if that works now. So what if we go, probably not though, softmax. Oh, snap, it does work. Okay. Minus the fact that now it's 0 indexed instead of... Why is there a 0 at the beginning, actually? Because this is... Anything to the 0 is 1. And 13 colon converts a sentence with y and x to point-free form. So (13 colon) percentage plus some oh, the double quotes are not part of it. Wow. For real? That's amazing. APL, to my knowledge, does not have that whatsoever. That is amazing. So we can actually delete this in a sec, but so we learned this with a verb using x and y will convert to point-free form. I mean, that alone is like a reason to learn J if you're like an APL person, because that is super, super powerful. Thank you for pointing that out, is all. And that means then, so what is this doing? I assume this is meaning that expect a chain of monadic verbs and don't like verbify or trainify or whatever. So let's search for cap. What does cap do? This is a syntactic trick to employ a fork to implement f of g of x, the composition of two functions f and g. The primitive is not actually executed. So this is a syntactic trick to employ a fork to implement the following. So I see. Without it, it's trainifying it, not with like a monadic application, then another monadic application. Whereas you put this there, and that says, please just apply these one by one, which is exactly what we want here. We want the exponentiation first, and then we want, so that's pretty nice. So then we can say that softmax in J is the following, and I sort of like it like that. Interesting. All right, let's go check that one off. Oh yeah, and now we have to go visit our algorithm library now. So algorithm.hpp. So something that I thought about once again on one of my walks or runs while I spend time is I forgot that in the C++ algorithms, typically the pattern is that any algorithm, any short-circuiting algorithm, aka find, although mismatch actually doesn't. So what are all the what are all the short-circuiting algorithms in C++? It's actually not short-circuiting. The ones I'm thinking of are find versus find if, count versus count if, and then other short-circuiting ones are mismatch, adjacent find. Is that the only ones? I guess find if not. But I feel like those are just sort of variants of find and find if. Search, I guess, technically. Oh yeah, replace if. So it's more versions that have if underscores. There's copy and copy if. Remove if. Removes a value. In general, though, the pattern is that algorithms that have a if suffix take a predicate, and the corresponding algorithms that do not have an if suffix take a value, which is true of all of these. And we are taking a predicate, not a value. So really, this should be find if. The question is should it be called found if? Because that doesn't really sound right. So find if is definitely staying. The question is what to call found. I'm going to go get some more tea while I think about this. And if you're watching, think about it as well, and post in the comments if you think it should be called found if, or if there's an alternative that you think would be better. All right, I'll be back. All right, I thought about it, and I think actually we're going to leave it as fine. And then we are going to actually just overload these using concepts in C++20 so that if we do have a version that takes a value, we can use concepts to basically disambiguate. That's what I came up with. So let's cross that one out, actually. Rust Gang, where are you? Probably not here. All right, so now what we're gonna do for the last little bit, so this, hopefully we can get this done in, I don't know, 15 to 30 minutes, and then we'll call it a night, is to close this, close this. We want to replace this with a transform. So I guess technically it's going to be an AAL var transform, because this indeed, from what I can tell, is writing to JV and that's all it is. So we can actually, in advance, before we write the algorithm, we can actually just write what the invocation would look like. So we're going to have auto A, auto B, auto C, because we don't have the context to give these better names. We actually don't need this because we already replaced it. And let's actually add. So I guess we could, because we're reversing this, we're putting JV first, then we're putting U plus M, and then what are the orders that we've used other places? U, then S, then IV. And that means we are going to replace U with A, IV with C, and SI with B. Should be the case. And obviously we will go through once we have better meanings for this. Paul is asking, is it a good idea to make a self-hosting APL language? Is it possible? From what I know, Dialog APL is written in C, as is J. I know Aaron Shu has a implementation of Dialog APL. Or I shouldn't say Dialog APL. I think it's Dialog APL, actually. It might be a subset. And I believe his compiler is written in APL. But I also know that like his compiler generates or like transpiles somehow to C code. And then it's built on top of the C++ ArrayFire library. So I don't think there's any, or at least to my knowledge, I don't know of any self-hosting APL implementations. But it would be an interesting toy project. All right, let's go write our transform algorithm now. So we can just copy and actually let's write it from scratch. So template, type name, I and then we'll call it op because we don't know the arity of it, if it's going to be unary or binary. Well, I guess it's obviously not going to be unary. It'll be binary or above. Actually, so we don't really want this to be... Well, just for now, we'll return void. Const expert auto... So this is going to be op o I l I f like that. Then we're going to go while f does not equal l, which is very similar to what we have above. We are going to dereference o and assign to it the operation applied to f. Or yeah, dereferenced f, dereferenced fs star. I guess technically we could be doing this in Gobble. Maybe we'll switch over if we end up having problems. Then we do plus plus o and plus plus f and then plus plus fs dot dot dot. And I think that's actually it. Let's take it for a spin. I should spell type name correctly. Op was not declared. I should give my arguments or parameters names. Okay, so that works. The question is, uh-oh. Damn. So this does not track what we had before. So this is what we had before. So let's turn off Clang format here for a sec. Clang. Just so that we can make sure. Paul's saying, haven't watched these streams before. What are the tests test? They're basically just the unit tests for the J language. So we're slowly refactoring the C implementation into C++. And so whenever we make changes or whenever you create a PR, we always run the unit tests. So they're just in a directory called test. So you can see there's quite a few files. I think, what is it? I totally did not do that right. Word count -l. 425 files. And if we do a cat, 70, so it's 73,000 lines of just unit tests. Which is what that is. So hopefully that answers your question. Izal is saying that I need to... Oh, I do indeed. I do indeed. JVM plus equals M. That's a great catch. Yeah, and I think those were the tests at the top are the ones that failed initially. Right, yeah. That's a great catch, is all. Yeah, well, I guess that is a good argument for what we should be doing there. So yeah, this really should be JVM or JV equals. Let's delete this, this, save, and then come back here and return O. But yeah, obviously I'm not going to put no discard on this one because almost the majority of cases, at least when I'm using transform, I'm not using the output iterator. So let us, this is the beauty of like mob programming, is that I'm not sure if I would have caught that super quickly. But someone on the live stream, watching the live stream did. What happened? Oh, right. So I guess this is the irritating thing, is that whenever I want to make changes now to both, I'm going to have to basically push two separate PRs. So yeah, first let's drop down into an algorithm library. Although technically, I might be able still to just push directly. So this is Clang formatting plus adding this. So let's see what happens. Git diff, git commit, or git add, git commit, add al var. What happens? Why do I need to provide? We already did this once. Let's try that again. Wahaha. So I mean that's bad practice, but that repo is it's early, it's junior, so not the end of the world. And now we can come back up a level. And I guess we can, well, I was planning on going 90 minutes and we're at 70 minutes. So maybe let's see if there's a few small things we can do with this function. So let's just do some small refactoring. So where's J? Do we have... We have GAT0 and GA right now. We don't have... we don't have GATV. So we'll leave that for a later day. We do have set C, I believe, which is just item count. Q and N. So I believe we can just go IN equals set What happened to set item count? Did we delete it accidentally? Oh, it's item count now. That's why. So we should update this to... Oh, right. Sorry. I just can't read properly, that's all. It's so irritating. Whenever you go to a markdown file and then you use Control-B to close it, Control-B now is overloaded by the fact that it's bolting in a markdown file. Very irritating. So it's not set item count, it's item count. So let's see if that worked. Nice. Q is defined up above. D, I guess, is also defined up. Oh no, D is right there. So that was what, 2 times of declaration initialization split. We can also do the same with T, which is another one. K, which is another one. I feel like DJ Khaled. I'm not sure if we can make that const. D clearly is not const. It's hard to tell whether K is. Only one way to find out though. Oh yeah, Zal pointed out the item count. Yeah, and that set's a very bad name for it. Congratulations, you jade yourself? I don't understand what that means. So I can increment that by 3. And did we do... We did 1, 2, 3. So I think I'm missing one of these. It doesn't really matter, these exact counts, but in the future when I give some presentation, it'll be useful. So this is I star on I, V, and J. So I star, I star, and then, oh, beautiful. So we're gonna delete that. And int 64 underscore t that. These are C stars. And J can be used later. So that was what? 3 more of these. And I guess we can replace this. So this is just replaced with make array. It'd be cool if that actually worked. Y equals make array. So do we have... I think in order to get this to work, we actually have to templatize the function. So that might not be the easiest thing to do right now. Or do I have a convenience function for it? Where does t come from? Comes from x. So yeah, let's leave this alone for now. It's a DJ Khaled reference? Oh, that's okay. I know that DJ Khaled says another one and another one, but that's about the extent of my knowledge of him, and that he's done a music video or a song with Justin Bieber. It's my obligated whatever Justin Bieber knowledge as a Canadian. All right, we got 10 minutes left. Is there anything else? I really wish we knew what... Yeah, I should put a to-do down here. Yeah, to-do, rename CC, and USIV when we know what to call them. On line 76. Of which file? Size of C-type. But C type is based on type. So like this is a, and really this should be called J type. I'm not sure why. It's just above here. And this is not complete. But this basically returns you, it's ultimately we want to rip this out, but in order for us to be able to port code nicely, sometimes it wants to be able to use size of based on these little, Boolean, float, etc. types. So I think it's okay because C type is based on type. Let me know if you've seen something else though. Oh yeah, so maybe the last thing. Oh yeah, and do we have, so this should be array. Oh yeah, and actually, size of C type. Oh, you are right. Yeah. This looks like a bug. Does size of... Yeah, you might be right. Yeah, I might be. I'm almost positive you're right. Because this was initially operating on T, which is this. Is that... Yeah, and so they should map. They should map. Because that's what basically this is like they do all this workaround stuff to get like generic functions based on the type, but they store it at runtime when really it should just be a compile time variable. But yeah, that's another good catch. So I've been meaning to do this and then I always forget. Let's rename this, which is going to be super simple actually. Yeah, use that double octothorpe text replace macro from before, yeah. Take sparse. So replace all. Now we can actually delete this comment. Make sure that still works. Also, I should have been committing along the way. Because that's better practice. And then last but not least, let us quickly I star I. Ooh, look, there's another loop here. Let's do the loop too, why not? Where's AN? We already got rid of ants. This is 1, 2, 3. So this is what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and we can just yeet all of that at once. Come over here. There's actually probably a few consts we can add. While this is running, what is this? This is a std transform. So this is going to be std transform v plus an or it's actually u plus an v, and then return std absolute value of e. Paul says, what's the end goal of this project? Do you plan to maintain it in the long run, or is it just for fun/learning? There's nothing on that in the README. That's a good point. Let's go to the README and try J goals. So yeah, let's add a motivation section. Motivation. The motivation for this is to learn about how Ken Iverson / Roger Huey implemented the J language, and similarly APL as J is the successor to APL. And then you're asking about like what are the long-term goals once the code base is fully ported. Well, I mean, I don't actually really have like long-term goals. It's like a mountain. We're climbing it, and once we get to the top, we'll be done. And I mean, in the future, if people want to continue to like, if this, we already have like a double-digit number of contributors. If people want to keep on growing this, that's totally fine. I've already added a couple of the regular contributors as collaborators on the project, so they have greater access to do reviews and stuff. So yeah, the end goal is the journey. Yeah, I'm not sure if that answers your... Do I plan to maintain it? I mean, I'm not sure what you mean by maintain. If people are still actively like opening PRs, I'll definitely like review them, and if people want to take this like past just like it being ported and then do more with it, like that's totally... I don't plan to like archive this at any point. But yeah, like the ultimate reason is not because I have like I want to make a bunch of money or have some like other end goal. It's just a learning exercise. And also too, like if my goal was to make money on something like this, this is not the route I would take, because this code base is GPL'd, which I've mentioned on several of the prior live streams. So if I wanted to make some product, which like I'm not interested in now or anytime soon, I wouldn't do it this way for sure. I'd be starting from scratch, and I definitely probably wouldn't be choosing digraphs, aka like 2 ASCII characters to represent algorithms and operators. Yeah, but anyways, that's for another day. So what we were gonna do? Oh yeah, right. We were gonna check to see if this stood transform was actually doing what we wanted. I might have to import CMath. Apparently, I don't. Oh yeah, do we have a guideline for use algorithms? Because that actually might be the first. It's not the first algorithm actually, because we're using stood equal to twice. So we should actually keep track too of how many algorithms. That's a great refactorism. So let's call this algorithm usage. Algorithm. Ooh, and that's a good question. Should we keep track of? We should. The Variadic versions. I actually don't know. Yeah, we should keep track. Whoops. So our first one is stood transform, which we're now using once. Stood equal, we're using twice. We were using, yeah, stood transform, stood equal, and then alvar found and transform twice, or each used once. Ooh, so pretty. And then, yeah, we need to go find a guideline for using algorithms. Use algorithms. Algorithms, concurrency. So clearly this is a work in progress. Is there really not a, maybe it's avoid raw loops. Raw loops. Are we looking at like a work in process one? I don't remember seeing as many question marks. I feel like we just... Declaration, rules, expression, statement. This would either be in expressions or statements. I mean, P13? Yeah, this... Using a well-designed, well-documented, well-supported library saves time. I mean, their one example is of using an algorithm. I'm shocked actually. Um, prefer standard algorithms to raw loops ISO. Yeah, that's a good question. That's a good question. Although we're sort of getting it. This was 5 years ago. We have views now in C++20. But yeah, there are many algorithms that require just like a counting iterator that don't actually have a container. Yeah, I think you're right. Hello. Hello being the name of the user in the chat that recommended P13. Where did P go? How many times did algorithms come up again? 36. Or actually, maybe 59. Let's go to the top, click here, now search. What? Ooh, what's this? Express intent. What is ES71? I can't believe that they have a guideline saying prefer range-based for loops to C++ 98 for loops, what we'll call them. And they have a prefer a for statement to a while statement when there is an obvious loop variable. Prefer a while statement to a for statement when there is a no obvious loop variable. Prefer to declare a loop variable. They have all of this. They've got, what is that? They've got avoid do statements, avoid go to, minimize the use of break and continue. I mean, so they've got 1, 2, 3, 4 expression guidelines dedicated to for loops and while loops. And yeah, prefer standard library to other libraries. Also, too, this looks like a half-baked document, honestly. All these triple question marks. But yeah, okay, I do like. So what it was ES1 versus P13. Yeah, I like ES1 better. But we're going to basically rename this. this will be our no raw loops. So ES1, no raw loops. We'll put an asterisk next to it. And what is this now? I guess it's always going to be equal to the sum of this, which is 5. And this should go here. And then we want to go grab this. Very nice. So now we can come back here. I believe we passed all our tests, so I did get that on the first try. It was a transform. And while we're at it, we can go P star, P star. And that is a couple more decal init splits. And I think we'll call it there. Still a lot of work to do. I think that was the last do, though. So that was the last do macro. There's still one other for loop. But we've replaced each of the 5 do macros with an algorithm, which is pretty awesome. Pretty awesome. All right, last but not least, let's do a final build, final unit test. I always forget to start doing this on branch, so I can't get checkout dev right now, can I? Yeah, so just git checkout, and we'll call this out. We'll call this out transform. So we added motivation. We updated that. Oh yeah, and let's go update our live stream. Actually, yeah, no, let's do it right now. What else did we learn? So we learned ISO C++ core guidelines has 4 guidelines for loops. Actually, let's 4/ while loop guidelines. No raw loops. I think that might be it. Was there anything I missed? Let me know if there's anything I missed. And we will git add, git commit. So this was adding a var transform plus cleanup plus docs / readme. We push that, everything up to date. Why is that? Right, because we are pushing to origin the wrong branch. Where are we going? Right, we'll come back to that in a sec. Actually, so this is closes 196. So this is what? This is C to C++, a bit of docs. There's no CI or build stuff. Code quality. Looks good to me. Create pull request. And we wrote this, and we did this, and we did a little bit more. So we can leave the labels off. All right, folks, we've got a couple minutes while this builds. I will say thanks for tuning in. We will... When is the next one of these going to be? Might be Wednesday, or it might be Sunday if I end up being very productive tomorrow. But I still got quite a few things to do. But yeah, we're now getting close. I feel like we need to... I need to go. We need to get the rest of these make array. So where did it go? We have GA sparse. We also had a GA TV. So these are all just like make underscore array variants. So this one actually probably uses the same function that we already ported for make array 0, but it just needs a different shape copier. But yeah, how many we're at 450 lines. Yeah, we're getting close. I think maybe in the next couple, maybe it'll be 2 or 3 live streams, we can finish with this file. And then we'll get back. Or if we get bored, we can always go and port something else in the meantime. But yeah, let's check in. It is passed. We will merge. And that means that we're back down to having 3. And this is closed. So I'll say once again, thanks for tuning in. I hope everyone has a great weekend. And I will see folks in the next live stream, which will either be Sunday or Wednesday. Cheers.